Hey everyone, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot. And today we are talking about the blessed, blessed, blessed favorite holiday of most witches, Samhain.
I love Samhain.
Also known as Halloween. Why is it known as Halloween? We'll get there.
I love Sauin, but I'm not sure if it's my favorite holiday. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I love Yule, but I also really love Beltane.
I have to say Samhain is my favorite because even prior to being a practicing pagan, Halloween was my favorite holiday.
Oh, I do. I love Halloween.
Give me an excuse to dress up. Fucking please. Like, any day of the goddamn week. I will dress up every single day. Every day. I will do it. It doesn't matter. I love dressing up in costume. I don't need an excuse. But most other people want me to have an excuse, so Halloween.
I love Halloween. I do love Halloween. I can't believe I'm saying that I think I like Yule more. But I do love Halloween.
I mean, I love me some Yule.
To be honest, these holidays and this season is my favorite. Starting Maybon and the...
yeah.
That's not uncommon, not just amongst witches, but people in general. Everybody's like, these are the best months of the fucking
year. Yeah. Absolutely. Honestly, and I think that's a throwback to when you just got to stay at home and enjoy your family during those months because it was too cold to do fucking anything
You
else.
Say enjoy your family, I'm like stuck with their family. Probably. You can't tell me that all those people, those ancient people that didn't really go out in the wintertime were not sick of each other, dude. Mom, she's hitting me.
I imagine they had different kinds of problems. So did they get cabin fever? Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think that because their social dynamic was so much different than what we know today, I don't think they were necessarily getting tired of each other. I think they would have been tired of being cramped inside.
Probably, and I do think that siblings would probably be driving people crazy. I do. Like, there's no... Siblings are siblings, people are people. You know what I mean?
Yes, but, like, back then, like, siblings didn't necessarily have other playmates, so they more readily had to get along because they had to work together on the family whatever and blah, 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 blah. I mean, that's just my thought on when you say ancient peoples. The more modern you get, the more they quarrel and bicker because we have less to worry about, you know? But back during ancient times, Samhain was a scary time of year because they feared everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the Celts are predominantly where we get our Samhain lore. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring us banshees and the Kaliak, and most importantly, fairies.
And they're not all nice and fun and playful like we like to be.
Right.
Well, not all of them. Maybe some of them.
Right. I'm sure, like, there are some playful sprites coming out of the fairy mounds.
They're like
on Halloween night.
Out. Yeah, exactly. Like, you say that, and I'm like, the ballet. Ballet. Every time I think of fairies, I think of ballet. I blame the Nutcracker.
In the air.
Yes, exactly.
I can dig it, though. I do love me some Nutcracker.
I do too.
I do
too. Oh my god, I showed Theodore, my son, a Nutcracker when we were at Ross. He lost his shit.
In a good way or a bad way?
It was terrifying.
Oh.
I was like, num num num.
Oh.
He was like,
oh my god, it's gonna eat me.
My poor baby. I didn't know he was gonna freak out.
Nutcracker? Yeah, it's like, you don't think that somebody would be, but like, I have seen other people scared of a Nutcracker for the same reason. I cannot remember if it was one of my children or like one of my cousin's kids.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but in Halloween time, there's so much to be afraid
There's no Nutcrackers.
There are no
There's
Nutcrackers.
Worse.
Yes, because the veil is thin, and the Celts believed that the fairies could cross back and forth, and sometimes they might sweep you up with the fairy host and take you away, whether you wanted it
It's
or
not
not.
as fun as it sounds.
Mm-mm.
I read this amazing book by PC Cast, plugging it in. definitely check it out. It's called Divine by Mistake. And it's about this older woman, because PC Cass is an older woman, so she mostly writes about older women, divorced women. And she's taken by the Fae, and they think she's their queen. They mistake her because she has a Fae doppelganger or something like that. I may be wrong.
That's fucking cool.
If you've read this and I'm
wrong... Is it
wrong,
like The Prince and the Pauper but with fairies?
I have no idea. If you guys have read this and I'm wrong, please forgive me. This is just what I'm pretty sure I read the concept was about. And she ends up falling in love with one of the princes or whatever.
Fuck
and
yeah.
like it's called Divine by Mistake. That would be fucking awesome.
So would you go into a fairy hill? A fairy mound. They're called fairy mounds. My bad. Would you go into a fairy mound?
In real life, no. Because they're not very nice.
Truth. Like, I don't think I would either.
I want to. I've done meditations. We're about to sound crazy this episode, by the way, just so everybody knows. It's fucking Sauin. I've done meditations where you visualize going into the fairy realm and you visit, and I fully believe that's like a form of astral projection, and in doing so, don't eat the food while you're there. Everybody knows. Be careful what you say. Show respect.
I would fuck up giving my name to a fairy. Like, hands down, 100%. I'd be like, I'm Jack of the Lantern. How are you today? And I'd be like, I'm Amber. Fuck.
Whoa. But if you say your magical name, does that count? It's not your, like, legal name. Or do you
I would think my magical name would be even more binding.
Right. Oh, my God.
Yeah, like, honestly. But then again, I put it out on my web. Well, I didn't put my real. I put my other one out on my website. I put, like, my mundane magical. Like, there's multiple magical names, guys. We should maybe do an episode on that.
I have a magical name. I don't share it with many people. I think only my husband knows it by mistake because motherfucker's nosy as hell. And he's like, "Who's this?" I was like, "He's like, do you have an alternate alternate whatever person online?" No, that's me. That's just my spirit name. Like, that was so embarrassing. But I keep it a secret because I think spirit names are super powerful.
Yeah, no, like I said, I have a magical name that I share with the public, like PPD. Mm-hmm. I was, the spirit urged me to share it one year, so I did. And so that is the magical name I'll share with the public. And then I have one that I won't share.
Well, now I need to know. Just kidding. Don't tell me.
No.
Anyway, so Samhain is not just in the, Greek, or I'm sorry, not Greek, Celtic, Gaelic part of the world. There's like many different Samhain-like celebrations all over the world.
They're just not necessarily called Samhain. Exactly. We may slip and refer to them as Samhain because we're so used to talking about this season as Samhain.
Right.
But
I think that's just the most commonly used in European and American. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. So I have no idea how to pronounce this word. Do you remember?
Antisteria, I believe, is how you say it. Antisteria.
See, I thought it was Anthemsteria. Oh, that makes no sense. There's no in there. But it takes place in Athens. That's where it's so I think that's where
and I guess for me, I'm so used to reading things from those languages that the H is not necessarily meant to make the th or the ch sound. Mm-hmm. But if it's from Athens, it would make sense that it would be Antisteria. But
anyway, it's Greek celebration. It's a Hellenic celebration. However, unlike Samhain, this is celebrated in the springtime. So it's really like a mixture of Samhain and Beltane because they're celebrating spring and welcoming life. But while they do that, the gates of Hades open and the dead return to bless or welcome the life as well.
Because, listeners, if you remember from our Beltane episode, it is the time also when the veil is thinning, just like Samhain. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't listened to the Beltane episode after this one, you should go back and check it out. And Yeah, like, because, like Maddie said, it's like a mix of Samhain and Beltane, right?
Right, exactly. So one of my favorite things about this celebration, which I think I'm going to try and incorporate next year. I'm so glad I did research on this because as a Hellenic witch, it's important. I think it's an important day. It's a Dionysus-centered holiday, and what they do is they pop open the wine that's been fermenting from autumn to springtime, so all through the winter. Oh hell yeah, they are. There's even like a high priestess of Athens or whatever, like a special one that gets ritualistically married to Dionysus. They don't know if there was sex or not, but there probably
was a lot of sex.
There probably
was ritualistically married to Dionysus. So what I hear when you say that is she had sex with a whole lot of his followers that night.
Damn, that's kind of like...
Look, read the sacred mushroom and the cross. Oh
I'm over here like, damn, I would read that. I would read that erotica. Somebody please write it, and if it's already written down, please let me know, because y'all know. You don't know, actually.
Maddie, you're giving me ideas.
I know, I'm like, write that. Like, that's a good fucking idea, dude.
Damn.
It's like,
yeah.
And we'll see, and the thing is, like, so instead of pumpkins and stuff, first of all, pumpkins aren't in Greece, they're American. But instead of like gourds and potatoes and shit like that, they have flowers and things because it is during the springtime. So maybe she'd be looking like the girl from Midsummer after she gets married to Dionysus.
Maybe she'd be looking like the corpse bride.
Ooh, that'd be cool too.
I like that.
But I believe it's like the next day. The dead are only out for 24 hours. The next day, Hermes, the god Hermes, kind of is summoned or comes and like ushers the dead back into the underworld, which I love because
he's the messenger.
Yeah, but he's got his little feet,
his little wings, and he's like,
"Come on,
got you guys, come on." Sorry,
is Hermes the guy?
I don't know. I just pictured him being like, "All right, guys, I know, let's go." Come on, every year. I know. It's the same thing. Every year. Let's go.
Oh my God. I know, right? I love it. I
just picture that because, like, you mentioned his little... And I picture his shoes, they're, like, gold with the wings on the back of them, you know?
Right.
But they're, like, the most fashionable sandals.
Right.
And I picture him with wings on his back, too. Does he have wings on his back, too? Is it just winged sandals?
I think it's just winged sandals. Wings on his back are more like Eros or Cupid. But I may be wrong. I don't know.
Dude, I totally picture him with wings on his back, though.
I love the wings on the you know...
On the sandals?
Shoes, I do.
Fucking cute.
So in
Red Bull gives me wings.
Right. Well, that's
stole Hermes' thing. Didn't they? Like, straight up?
Yes, they did. So that's the closest thing the Greeks or Hellenic, they have to
well, and the Romans have the celebration.
Oh, right. The Greeks specifically. Yeah, the Romans have their
The Romans have a celebration for the goddess Pomona. Which I was like, is that a kind of apple? Because I really
when you say
feel
Pomona,
like it is.
What is Persephone's name?
Persephone is Proserpine. Yeah.
So similar.
Yeah.
To, you know.
It is. Like Persephone, Pomona, Proserpine. But I still think there's a Pomona apple. I really do. But she's the goddess of fruit. And there's a festival for her on November 1st. Mm-hmm. And in both a documentary I was listening to and stuff I was reading, it said that celebration of the goddess Pomona during the same time as Samhain, while the Romans and the Celts lived so close together, kind of blended somewhat those two holidays and helped give us the Halloween we have today. And one source believes that the Celtic bobbing for apples comes from Pomona. What's the word? Worship. Pomona worship.
You know, I have to say, first of all, guys, I watched Hocus Pocus 2. Amber watched Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you notice that during the apple ball being seen, that guy was like straight up drowning?
Oh my God! I straight up said, this looks like a BDSM scene.
I know.
And Corey looked at me like, what the fuck? And then he looked at the screen and he goes, actually, yeah.
My mom and I were like,
I was
bro, he's straight up motherfucking drowning the motherfuckers, and then he pulls them up and he's like, okay, back in. Like, what the fuck? I'd be pissed. I'd be like, I'm fucking suing you, dude.
Right?
You almost killed
you know
me.
what? I'm just going to do two. We're talking about Hocus Pocus 2, so I'm going to do two Hocus Pocus 2 shout-outs. And sponsor us, ladies. Feel free to. So I actually own pieces of artwork or creations of things made by a woman who her Facebook page is Primitive Witchery.
I see that on your Facebook page.
And her props are in Hocus Pocus too.
I saw
like
that.
They show up. Like some of I was like I low key bragged to my husband that we own shit made by somebody that had their work in Hocus Pocus too. And then there's this other lady called the Salem Plant Witch, who her sign appears in part of that scene where they're doing the thing down like the main street.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like, so I'm like 2/3 of a Disney princess now, right? And I was like, that's the funniest shit. Even Corey laughed when I told him that one.
That is
so either of you ladies want to sponsor the podcast, advertising.
Oh my god, please do. Or if anybody wants to, please do.
But I just like, wouldn't it be cool?
One of the things that I really like, we kind of touched on this last year on our YouTube channel. If you're not watching us on YouTube, check us out at witchestalkingtarot. I don't know where I was going with that. We're at Witches Talking Tarot on YouTube.
I was like, wait, how does I got lost.
I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Anyway, if you scroll all the way down, we've got some lovely videos for you to choose from. But last year
pre-podcast days,
we softly or gently touched on jack-o'-lanterns.
Stingy Jack.
That was Amber's favorite, or one of her favorite things.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about jack-o'-lanterns, is they weren't made with pumpkins.
Turnips.
Yeah, turnips, and I read potatoes too.
Right, like root vegetables in general.
But then the Irish migrated to America, and they're like, "Oh my god, this is fucking perfect."
This is
this is
so much better than that turnip. It's like way hard to. I did the same thing.
Damn, them turnips are scary.
Yeah, I am not carving. I will cut my hands. Are you fucking?
They also look terrifying.
Well,
Have you seen them? They look like dead ass.
Faces,
oh my god.
Creepy ass. Yeah.
My son is terrified of pumpkins. And I wonder if he saw what the fuck? He's just scared of all sorts of holiday shit. Because we walked down the Christmas aisle and he was like, Santa, jack-o'-lantern. The gingerbread man's alive.
I bet he does it for attention.
You think so?
I think so.
Because he's like,
if he's like, the gingerbread man and Santa, I think it is for attention.
Well, to be fair, lots of kids are afraid of Santa because of the beard. But
usually it's when they're being put on his lap. Was he being put on Santa, or was
No, I was just like, look, he's like, He's sensitive.
I wonder if he's like, Mommy will cuddle me if I...
Maybe. He's like, oh, help
Kids learn quick. They do. They're so cute. He's going to be such a cute Spider-Man.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that.
You talk about the scary turnip faces, and I think about... So, you mentioned other cultures. In the Slavic nations, they have a festival called Dziady, and it's Dziady, and a lot of them, including Polish, in Russian and some others, it's slightly different, but it's like dead. I can't quite, like...
Dziady. Or that, like Spanish. That's Roman. It's Dziady.
Yeah, it's like...
Italian.
Dziady. That, now I'm getting Italian sounding.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just
fine.
Grazie. That's what it reminds me.
Grazie.
Yes,
I do
like
love
that.
Italian. Buongiorno. Anyhow. But it is called... it means Forefathers' Eve, essentially. Mm-hmm. And they have it at both the springtime in May and in October at Sauin. So October 31st to November 1st. Mm-hmm. And it is a celebration of ancestors. And one thing that they do is they'll one thing I saw was like an altar of food for some ancestors at a Dziady celebration. Mm-hmm. And they had these masks that were to represent the ancestors, and it was terrifying. That's what I pictured when you said the turnips, because they look very much like those terrifying turnip faces.
My God.
It was scary.
Guys, I'm gonna make the ancestors
scary.
Look pretty.
I wonder if it was dual purpose, because they also have the whole dressing up. They have the dressing up to beg for, not necessarily beg for, but ask for treats, right? Mm-hmm. And they're referred to as Dziady, and they're like a connection between the spirits and the people giving the treats, right? Mm-hmm. The people dressed up as them. And so I wonder if the masks being that way is representative of the people that are dressed up for trick-or-treating, essentially.
Okay, so I have a question.
Huh.
Maybe this is going to sound stupid, so I apologize, but trick-or-treating, whatever it was back then, you dress up, whether it's nowadays or back then, you get candy, you get whatever, go to door. What about carolers? Is that like something similar? Like, because when you really think about it, they're like totally trick-or-treating.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
like,
caroling is very much trick-or-treating.
But like nobody will ever say that. You know what I mean?
We will.
Like,
we just did.
Dong.
Maybe that's our shirt. Like, caroling is trick-or-treating. We'll make a holiday shirt, and it'll be like Nightmare Before Christmas themed.
Right.
And we'll mix Halloween or Yule and Samhain iconography.
I love that, and be like, caroling is just something trick-or-treating. Would you buy that?
Caroling is just winter trick-or-treating.
Right, I love that.
Yes.
Would you buy that shirt?
Would you wear it?
Like, would you?
Like, we'll put we'll have a Christmas tree decorated with jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes! Oh my god. I love it.
This.
I love it.
Plus, it's like Nightmare Before Christmas throwback.
Or maybe it's like somebody's wearing like a sweater with pumpkins on it, and they're like standing in front of a fucking door or something. Oh my god, I love this. Would you buy that? Would you pre-order that? Because like for real, that's actually fucking. I would wear that everywhere in the wintertime. Yeah, I absolutely would. That's a kick-ass.
That's a fucking yeah, it is.
Because it is. It really.
I mean, it is the same thing. Like, because like I remember when we were talking about, I mentioned Kolyada. Oh, that's wrong holiday. In some episode, I was talking about how at Christmas, the Slavs do similar things to what you do at Halloween because they did going door to door dressed in scary masks asking for treats. So, like, you're not wrong. Like, they all over the place.
I know this is not a Yule episode. This will be the
but
last
like the Welsh thing.
The fucking thing with the horse.
Yeah, the Welsh
weird thing.
Yeah,
is that what you were thinking too? Because they come in there, you gotta have called. Like a...
I have to look it up.
Right, it's Mary Lord or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's a weird ass.
Scary. Yeah. If somebody knocked on my door with a horse call, I'd be like, get out. Like, I mean, because you gotta sing to it. You gotta, like, you know what I mean? Like, go away.
Yeah, no. I think I'd start throwing things before I remember to have to sing at it. I'm just saying. I can't wait for the Christmas episodes. But anyway, back to Samhain.
Right. Sorry, so, similarities.
Like, there are similarities, like candles. So at Sauin and at Dziady and at Aflablot, we have bonfires or candles to light the way for the dead, and also to keep away things like demons.
No, honestly, I have not done this year because I've been, or any year before because I've always been renting, but now that I own my own house, I feel more comfortable doing it. I do want to put tea lights because those are my go-to. They burn themselves out. They're pretty neutral when it comes to things. Some people want to get fancy with it and do the pillar candles, whatever, but I do want to put tea lights in a lot of my my windows this year. I can't put them in every single window because my windows don't work like that. They don't all have window panes. But I do want to because I had also read or had somebody tell me that it helps like show your ancestors the way to your house.
Yes. I have read that as well. Oh yeah, we put lights all the time in the windows.
Yeah, I have not done that.
This last year at Christmas, Corey actually got me a set of electric candles that I can put in the windows, so it's not a fire hazard.
I thought about
because our cats like to get in the windows.
Right, I thought about getting electric ones too.
It doesn't say it has to be a fire flame. And for the standpoint of my cats will burn my house down, I'm okay with the electric in this sense.
And I'm sure the Dollar Tree has some too.
Yeah.
But we should do a whole episode on Dollar Tree witchery. Or a whole vlog. For our YouTube, we're gonna be at the Dollar Tree picking shit up. You could use this that's a great idea. That. Oh my god, and we're like just spitballing future episodes.
You can get those candles that we're talking about at the Dollar Tree.
I thought so. I made you that instead of tea lights because I'm not gonna be home. I got kids. We're going trick or treating, but that is perfect. That is great.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I always put real candles in my pumpkins. I won't lie. I do put real candles in my pumpkins. And we do multiple pumpkins every year because, like, that's how we are.
Do you do tea lights or big candles?
Tea lights, but I have to do a new tea light every night.
Oh, yeah. So fire is very important for someone.
Yes, it is.
We're entering the dark times of the year. And what do we need to see in the dark?
The light.
the light.
We need to be reminded of the light. And our ancestors were like inviting the sun back.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Lots of recommendation for the sun, or lots of like, it's basically the sun
energy.
Yeah, you know what
it's
I'm
like
saying.
high sun energy, and like it's a harvest festival. It's the last harvest festival. So they got whatever food was left in the fields, and then they did a harvest of, you know, the older cattle. So they'd have meat salted for the winter and stuff. And that was when they were pastoral. When they were hunters, there's a reason the full moon we just had was called the hunter's moon.
Right.
Because when they were hunters, they'd hunt as much as possible so they could store it and salt it and all that jazz, so that the winter months they could be safe and healthy.
Speaking of hunting, there was something really cool I read about in the Celtic mythology. It's actually not really cool. It's kind of terrifying. It's called the fairy host.
Yes.
And it's basically like a bunch of fairy hunters coming out, like, hunting people.
Yes. Spoiler, you're going to read more about it when we do the Wild Hunt episode.
Oh my god, I know, we keep talking about future episodes, but
yes, we're getting you guys excited because season 2 is fucking awesome, guys.
I know.
You know you love it. And we appreciate you for that. Like, thank you. Like, you don't understand how good you make our days, because, like, we just keep looking at the numbers and we're like, they're listening.
So I imagine, well, no, maybe that'd be more Sauin or Mabon, because I'm like, they feasted, right? So what would they eat? Potatoes, yeah, and
root vegetables and gourd vegetables.
Gourd vegetables. Now I don't think there'd be any tomatoes left. Do you think? I just made fried green tomatoes the other day, but I don't know if they grew outside.
Well, see,
how far? Like, what?
I don't know if this is because of the weird weather, but no, same time last year I was getting the last of my tomatoes, because I have tomatoes out there. I didn't get anything all summer, but once the heat drought went away, my tomato plants started producing, and I'm like, oh, guys, like, what?
So maybe they're getting the very last of their gardens. Which
would make sense with, like, goulash and stuff as meals throughout the winter, you know?
Well, and did they can? Or was that not before?
I'm sure there was some way of preserving their food. They had to have a way. They had to. Look, before canning was a thing, they had root cellars. So, like, they dug into the earth. So they had ways. Like, they packed things in salt. They packed things in sawdust. Yeah. I'm sure they had lots of ways. I don't know them all. I did not research them, guys. So if you know,
didn't. This wasn't amazing.
Tell us. Yeah. Let us know. Tell us. We want to know. But that wasn't something I liked, because I thought we'd probably talk a little bit more about the divination and the witchcraftery.
Right. Yeah. We always turn to, like, that part, but it's a holiday. It's a feasting holiday.
It is a feasting holiday. So we have to talk about the food. Candy.
Candy.
Sorry.
But speaking of feasts, you can also do what is known as a dumb supper to celebrate. Now, they used to do this all the time, I think. But you can also incorporate into your practice. I do not, because I have a family, and ain't nobody gonna shut the fuck up long enough to have a dumb supper, which is basically when you have a supper in silence. Yeah. Now, what's the silence for? It's honoring the ancestors, right?
Maybe.
What is it? What's the reason? I can't remember. If you know, let us know in the comments.
Maybe it's for the peace, right? Like, okay, so if you're a shy spirit or you're uncomfortable walking among this realm, will it be easier for you to be among the living if they are more like the dead?
I don't know.
I wonder. Maybe. Because, like, as opposed to a dumb supper, I'm much more a fan of putting out a plate for.
Me too. Like, I like the idea of them wanting to join into the conversation. Yes. Of them wanting to feel like Viserys did? No, I'm just
I was going to say, you say Viserys, so there's a V word that I can't say, so you can look it up. It was just a couple days ago, October 9th or something. There's a Norse night for specifically leaving a food offering out for your ancestors. Yeah.
Now, what do you do with the food afterwards? Like, we had just
had this conversation.
See,
so
I feel like
what you guys think.
I feel like in the past, it was a lot easier to leave it out. Probably a wild animal.
Was gonna eat it,
right, and it'd be gone. So they'd be like, "Oh, the ancestors took it," which I fully believe. If a wild animal eats it, it's either the fae or the ancestors taking it, like, through that vessel.
But so they left it outside. But what if it was inside, like, and it went away? You think it was like rats or something?
A rat.
'Cause, like, yeah, okay, same.
The plague.
Yes, exactly. Okay, I just was like, am I being shitty here? Okay.
No.
Okay.
So, Amber lives in the city, if you'd call it that. I mean, Amber's like
Small town.
Small.
Whatever.
It's so crazy when you say small town. Dude,
I'm
Amber,
from Houston,
I
Texas.
know, it's so crazy when you say that, because Amber's town is like 3 times the size of mine. So
I think of them equally as small towns, if that helps you.
small town, but a very urban. I was gonna say
suburban.
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 Okay. Area, and Amber can't leave food outside because like maybe an animal will eat it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Like certain foods I can't leave outside.
Right.
Because I don't want to poison the neighborhood dogs. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because like, whereas my backyard,
this is the conversation we had. She's just leading into it, guys.
Right. Whereas like my backyard, you've seen my backyard. I feel more comfortable leaving stuff out there. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I left out like oats and shit. It was like oats and
for
raisins.
Birds. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like last year at Halloween for my ancestors.
Like a full plate of food.
But this is chocolate. Like, this was a chocolate pie, and I didn't want to poison my neighbor's animals.
Right. And would you feel comfortable leaving a full-ass plate of food either? Like, outside? Yeah. Or no? So how would you dispose of those things?
So, like, what do you do with food that you leave out for the ancestors? What is the respectful way? We posed this question of you.
Right, because
we posed it of each other earlier. Right, because I don't want to be wasteful. And
my go-to, of course, would be putting it outside, but when that's not an option.
Right, yes, exactly, because I had put something on my
You
hearth.
could burn it.
I could burn it. I did think about that. And that isn't being entirely wasteful, because it turns into ashes and it can go back into the earth. But it was perfectly good food. And I can't, in good conscience, throw away perfectly good food. It's hard for me.
Well, for my ancestors...
One of my kids ate it while I've been debating on whether or not I should eat it. So it's good. It's fine.
So... when I leave offerings, whether it's for the gods, for Hecate, my goddess, or for the ancestors like I've been, usually I leave an offering of a tea light candle, like I said, they're my favorite, or just an incense for that reason. Because
like
you don't want to waste
food.
Herbs.
But like this was specifically like a leaf food thing. So and since we're talking about Sauin and leaving out food or having a dump
and it goes
supper,
with the dump supper.
Which because a dump supper you make a plate for them.
Right, and I do want to make a plate for them, and I would love to leave it on my porch actually. It's funny though because I live in a
raccoons and your groundhog and some other things are going to be getting.
Exactly, right. Well, I don't hate that.
But you don't hate that, but from a responsibility and societal standpoint, because if they expect food from your porch, they might do that at your neighbors, and then they might get hurt.
Exactly.
And so, like...
Also, I live in a very superstitious neighborhood, and I think...
Truth.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
you put out your plate and some incense with it, light a black candle, just to make sure they understand what the whole vibe is.
Like, I do live in a very superstitious neighborhood.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's also why I'm hesitant as well, because I could just see them being like, oh, she is a witch. You know what I mean?
That, like, I don't give two shits. My neighbors across the street and them nosy motherfuckers. And last year on Sauin, I took my whole tray of, it's a food that I forgot to look up the name of it, but it's a food that's traditionally given to the dead. It's associated with life and death. So new mothers eat it as soon as they give birth, and then they nurse.
What is it?
I can't remember the name of it. Do you want to look up? Oh, it's over there. Okay, then we'll put it in the show notes because it starts with a K and it's not kolyata, but it's something similar to kolyata. It starts with a K. And I don't know off the top of my head. But I made it last year for the ancestors. And I put it on a fucking platter. And I put it out in my side yard for the ancestors. So as they passed by, because I put out lights to attract them. They could eat it. And,
was it gone?
Eventually, but like I didn't care who saw me do that. I just took a tray of steaming food out and put it in the yard.
Are you worried about the animals?
It was oats and raisins and
okay. So it was like it wasn't like
it was stuff that, right? Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is a food that it's made from
birds and squirrels and things like that.
Yeah, like technically it's cooked oats and stuff. So like I don't know. I would assume squirrels will eat it for sure. But whatever. It's like got barley and oats, and it's just like I tasted it. Would not recommend.
No, it sounds kind of good though.
I don't like oatmeal though.
I don't either, but
it's too mushy. I'll eat grits.
Ew! I fucking hate grits.
I love.
You know what it's like? And maybe I hope I don't ruin grits for everybody. Baby rice cereal.
No, it's better than that. You're making them too thin. I like mine kind of underdone. I guess they got some firmness.
Am I making them too thin?
I think you're making them too thin because my grits are thick and buttery.
Are they grainy? Or am I just fucking everything up because I'm not a fan of the grainy texture? They're like, Lord, somebody saved her husband.
They're a bit grainy, I guess, but I love grits. I love grits. I was raised on cream of wheat though.
Ugh.
I loved cream of wheat.
Oh my god!
I don't eat it so much anymore. It's too soft for me. But grits, because like again, I put more grits in than you're supposed to for the amount of water, so they're not super mushy. And then I add a fuck ton of butter and salt to taste. It's good, motherfucker.
My dad made grits and shrimp one time.
Yep, I was just about to say shrimp and grits is the fucking best. Shrimp and grits is good. I doubted it. I was like, what the fuck? I saw it on a menu at a restaurant once. So good. So good.
Some people eat their grits sweet.
Yeah, like that's how I started. Yeah, that's how Corey eats them. He eats them sweet. I prefer them savory because I've done it both ways. I like them with cinnamon and sugar, but I don't have that big of a sweet tooth. I love me some butter though.
I wonder if you can make. I wonder if you can make.
Some people put cheese in their grits.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah, I wonder if you can make oatmeal savory. Because it's.
I hate oatmeal so much. That made it sound worse.
My husband makes an apple pie oatmeal, and
I was gonna say this would be like savory oatmeal, the thing I'm talking about. But apple pie oatmeal, if I liked either of those things, sounds great.
So, one of the things that you can also do to celebrate Samhain as a modern witch is go through a little stroll in the cemetery.
Yes. I
did it during the day. Amber did it at night.
I did last year. I went to the graveyard.
How long were you out there?
Fucking midnight.
Was it like It's okay.
I want to say 10 minutes.
Because I
tops. But I was like, so I walked and I gave an offering of angelica and frankincense and myrrh and some other herbs because like basil is like my go-to, so I'm pretty sure there's basil in there. But oh yeah, mugwort and wormwood. That's what I do every Halloween. Okay, so every Halloween for the ancestors, I always whatever I have of mugwort and wormwood, I always put it in my fire when I'm doing my ancestral like Sauin thing at the end of the night. And when I went to the graveyard, I thought, well, I should put some of my mugwort and my wormwood in there along with the frankincense and myrrh because that's what I do. So that's my.
I love frankincense and myrrh. It's my go-to for protection.
Me too. That's why I was walking with it in the fucking cemetery at midnight on fucking Halloween because that shit was. I plan to be there longer this year, but like.
Just bring physical protection. Like I told Amber, I'm not scared of ghosts. I'm scared of meth heads.
I won't lie. That is also what started to scare. I was like, what if just somebody saw me drive up and they saw my lights go off on my car and they think I'm vulnerable? Oh my God.
That's so scary. Especially being in meth capital.
Yep.
Yeah. Because they do be
but like also that. Like being in a graveyard at midnight on Sauin is a little scary in and of itself.
Oh, absolutely. Spiritually, it's also really scary.
Yeah, it is. Like, I was like, guys, I am just here to be nice to you. Like, I don't want anything from you. Like,
I bet the energy was just so crazy.
Oh my God, I could feel things grabbing at me. Like,
was it just like one of the most powerful?
Oh yeah, like I said, I plan to. So originally, I had meant to do it throughout the year to get myself acclimated to being there at night. Yeah. So that this Halloween it would be easier. I failed to do that. So I still want to be there longer this year. But I literally I promise you, there were no branches or anything, but I could feel like it was
do your spiritual thing, and then like once you're done and you leave your offerings, you gotta go up. Hi everybody, I'm at a cemetery on Halloween.
Oh my God! Look, guys.
Don't come in. I'm live.
Okay, if you see anything in the background of the video, don't point it out to me.
They're like, oh my God, Amber.
Like, there are eyes behind you. No.
Wow, Amber. That's so good.
Run, bitch.
But if you're on live, then you have like an audience. So if something happens to you,
oh my God, it'll be just like Halloween Resurrection.
Or it'll be like fucking those tapes they find at the end of the fucking Blair Witch movies.
Oh my God, I've been watching the shit out of Blair Witch too, because
and
it's
all
on
that was
Hulu.
left was a Facebook Live on her Amber is the Color.
God damn. Oh my God. Don't
She
let
got
me go out
200,000
like
followers that day.
Bitch went viral and died.
Or what if bitch went viral, came home, had a good ass day, realizes she went viral because there was a fucking demon behind it the whole time. Everybody's like, this bitch don't know. She's gonna wake up. She's gonna wake up and see this. Would you die if you woke up?
Oh, I'm about to die now.
Oh my God. Well, if you're not as brave as Amber, you can do what I do and go for a walk in the cemetery during the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be Samhain. I guess my family's weird, but we always went on walks in the cemetery.
Well, it's very traditional
we always
have, like, Victorian people used to have, like, picnics in the cemetery, strolls through the cemetery. Like, the Celtic, or I'm sorry, not the Celtic, but the Slavic and the Philippines celebrations, they do them at the cemetery. Like the Slavic people, they'll be eating their food and then just kind of throw some on the grave.
Oh yeah,
pour one out for the homies.
My family has always done that. Like literally, I took Theodore out for a stroll in the cemetery maybe when he was like 2 or 3 months old with my cousin, or with my nephew and my mom and my other nephew. We just always have. I used to live down the road from the biggest cemetery in my. I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and drive.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's
cemetery.
absolutely
I
gorgeous.
love the energy there.
Me too.
We did a photo shoot there, guys.
We did.
Go back to Peace, Love, and Tea Leaves.
We did. It was so much. We need to do it
fun.
again.
Yes.
We need to do it again for Witches Talking Tarot.
Oh my God, awesome. It was.
There's a mausoleum or something that you can walk in. It's gorgeous.
Oh my God! I remember I had my vape and I almost passed out because I was blowing smoke, guys, like under the camera while somebody was taking pictures.
Oh my God! It looked so good though. It turned out so fucking good.
But I was like, oh guys, I need to breathe. I have like hit this and blown it like 20 times in quick succession.
It's a gorgeous cemetery. It's very old, so we always go for strolls there. Sometimes we'll have picnics. Now, when my nephew was younger, pretty sure he has the gift. We would be walking through the cemetery and he'd randomly be waving and shit, and it's like, don't say hello. I don't know who you're talking to. Who are you waving at?
Oh God. Have you ever been to the Peace Church Cemetery?
I have not.
The energy it's something else.
Most of the cemeteries in Carthage are, oh my God, I just said my fucking...
You said it before, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Most of the cemeteries in my town predate Civil War. And there's a whole section in the cemetery that I'm referring to that has was made for Union soldiers who passed during the bloodiest battle of the Civil War. So it's very historical. Very historical. We should absolutely
go there. Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Total historical cemetery.
Yeah, like I have been to one of the oldest cemeteries in the U.S. because my cousin, she lives in a historical house in somewhere in Massachusetts. You know what? It's not me. I'm not saying her town because it's real anyway. But she lives in a house from like the 1700s, 1600s, 1500s, some shit. Like it's like historical society has like authenticated it kind of house. Awesome. And she lives across the street from a fucking cemetery that myself and my daughters and my cousin's husband and their sons, we went for a walk And then the weather turned and it started raining.
Oh, was it gorgeous?
Slightly. It was gorgeous and like a little scary. Like not scary, but like when the wind changed while we're getting into the older part of the cemetery and like you're getting back to like the original people that lived in that town.
Uh-huh. Oh, absolutely.
And it was like powerful, and then like the rain starts coming and the wind picks up and it's like it feels like fall weather, but I'm pretty sure it was the summertime. But it was also in the Northeast, so
you know what you're right.
Fucking great.
You know what I've noticed is like you walk through the old parts of the cemetery. There's so many babies, and it makes me so sad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
so many babies.
So many babies. Or there's these people who've had like 8 kids.
Oh my god, yeah.
12.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
like they don't live past 10 or something.
I know. Oh my god, I can't imagine
heartbreaking.
continuing having them. But like, I guess they didn't have anything else to do. But like in the cemetery I'm referring to, there's so many mausoleums.
Mm-hmm.
So many of them, and you can peek in there, and it's old. And I know this is weird and morbid, but I'm like, I just want to open that shit up. Like, what's it look like? Is that weird? Is that weird of me? Because I'm like, this is literally like 1870. What's it look like in there? Are
right?
You, like, I'm not to be like morbid, but is it
curious?
bones?
And part of me's like, bitch, you've been watching Tales from the Crypt for 2 weeks.
I know.
You're not gonna open it.
I'm like,
because I have been watching Tales from the Crypt.
Bones, do you think? From like the 1860s?
How much does the air affect the decomposition? If it's been sealed off, are there air passages? I don't know. Because like when we did our vampire episode, like remember like the bodies that were shut up and things would bloat differently than stuff elsewhere and whatever.
And in one of the mausoleums, there's a fucking broom in there. I took a picture of it. Nobody's been in that mausoleum for like 50 plus years, so it's a broom that is just completely it's covered in dust, and it's from maybe the 50s or 40s or 50s. The last time they cleaned. Oh, it's so cool. It's metal. It's like it's cool. It's really cool.
Like that. I'm sorry, it made me think of that movie I was starting to tell you about earlier, The Lady in White.
Oh yeah,
which I will have to watch again before we do our Lady in White episode.
So go for a walk amongst your cemetery during the day if you're not, too scared to do it at night. If you're brave, if you're going to do it at night, be safe.
Right.
Bring, protection, and make sure it's legal.
And if you happen to be upon a crossroads, so like some of the things I read about fires and Sauin specified like fires are put at crossroads to keep demons away.
Well,
I live at a crossroads. I never realized that before today.
You could leave an offering at that edge of your yard for Hecate, because Hecate is the goddess of the crossroads.
Yes.
Exactly, yes.
I love that. But like, so what's great about that is none of the other houses we looked at were at a crossroads. I didn't think I was going to buy this house until I got here. Mm-hmm. And the house was like, you're home. And I bought a house at a crossroads, which in Slavic witchcraft, like I'll let you flip through the book if you want, so much of the stuff is go to a crossroads at midnight.
Oh, absolutely.
I can walk out my front door. I have been waiting, like, when am I going to drive out to the middle of Kansas because I don't want anybody to find me. And then I was like, is it safer to be in Missouri? I don't know. Where do you drive and go to a crossroads at midnight? I live at a crossroads. I feel dumb. Yeah.
I also like leaving offerings at like the railroad crossroads myself for Hecate. I used to live, when I lived down the road from the cemetery, down the road from one. Mm-hmm. I don't anymore, which does suck. But oh my god, I'm just currently. We should do an episode on making that too. But I was gonna say making your house witchy, because literally right now. We are currently in the midst of buying our first house. Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Congrats to me. And I am just the energy just feels so different. It feels like mine. I'm able to make it as witchy as I want. The yard feels like mine. It's literally as if like this gunky stuff is gone and this is fucking mine. Not to say shit about landlords, but like when you don't own something, it feels different when you actually do own it.
Oh yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
You know exactly
like when it's your house versus like oh, am I allowed to? No, this is my home. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly. But unfortunately, you gotta fix shit yourself. So
that is but when you're used to shitty landlords like I was, I had to fix shit myself anyway. So,
right. So bonfires is another great way.
Bonfires.
Sorry.
Yeah, no,
bonfires are also a great way to celebrate Samhain. You can do this the day before, the day of, or the day after. Because everything I read, Samhain's like a 3-day celebration, or I don't know. I guess it depends on when it close to you. Because some people do 2 days before and then the day of.
Yeah.
Some people do the day of, the day.
Well, like what I read from the traditional standpoint is it started the night at sundown on the 31st and it lasted until sundown on the 1st because the Celtic day
like 24 hours and then
at sundown
and ended at sundown. So I
but
guess
like why not celebrate?
Well,
I mean, look, the veil is thinner regardless.
Exactly.
Right?
So maybe I'm just speaking for myself. For all holidays, I like to give myself that 3-day range because we busy, we humans. I'm a mom to small humans. Right. So I think that's okay.
And
so
I feel like following a natural calendar, it's completely acceptable to go, this is the time frame that you celebrate this holiday in versus it's on this day because it's following nature's cycle versus a calendar cycle.
So if you can't do it on Samhain,
we're doing a bonfire the night before Samhain. Right. I don't know if you'll be able to make it.
I don't. Oh, the one with I don't. Well, my car works now, but I don't.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, like that's putting you on the spot. I'm just like I'm excited because I haven't been to. I haven't been to a Samhain bonfire forever, so I'm excited. Where is it again? It's an hour away from me.
See, I've never driven that far.
Yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah.
Especially at night.
No, I just because now that he doesn't work on Saturday nights anymore, I didn't know if.
Oh shit! I don't know. Maybe I will ask.
I don't know.
I will see. We will talk about that after we get off here. But like bonfires.
Yeah, no, I'm just excited to go because Corey's even coming with because he's excited to go. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like so bonfires are amazing. Plus it's celebrating the sun and you can do your rituals at the bonfire because you can throw herbs in. You can have, snacks around the bonfire like caramel apples or popped corn. All
hot dogs, wieners.
Fuck yeah.
I'd like some s'mores. Fuck yeah. I saw somebody make a s'more with a Reese's. That sounds fucking delicious. I've never done that before. Do you not like Reese's?
No, I've never thought of it before.
Me either. And then I'm like, damn.
You said Reese's and I nodded because my brain thought you said Hershey's and then it processed Reese's and I was like, oh, damn.
I know I've never done it before, but I'm like, fuck, that sounds good.
Shit. Fuck yeah.
I love Reese's. They're my favorite.
Fuck yeah, I love Reese's. Like, you motherfuckers that put Reese's in your Halloween buckets, you the real pros.
For real, and not them pieces.
Yeah, like cups. The real cups. Like, even if it's just the single cup, you still, like, the kids love you. Yes. Speaking of treats, what are your favorite Samhain treats? Do you have any specific, foods you like to eat for Samhain?
Stew. Or roast. I love roast. Because to me, for these months, I like the heavier roast, stew, chili, homemade bread, freshly baked bread, oatmeal, as opposed to when we talk about Ostara, we're like egg salad sandwiches, cucumber sandwiches, this is we're at the good time.
I'm all about chili on salad.
Exactly. We get there. We got that cornbread.
Bread. Like it is soup season. Corey's talking about we're gonna make soup in a pumpkin.
Oh yeah, dude.
I am excited.
I ain't gonna lie, one of our favorites be that cheddar broccoli. That shit is fucking delicious. We love making cheddar broccoli soup. Oh no.
Root vegetables. I love sweet potato everything.
Oh, potato soup? Oh
fuck yes.
That reminds me, I'm gonna have to call my grandpa and be like, hey, I need you to make some potato soup.
I wonder if I can still handle a little bit of bacon. Because potato soup's not the same without bacon.
Oh my god, my grandpa puts mushrooms in his. That's why I'm like, dude, he has the best
game changer.
Oh my god, so good.
Corey's mom puts carrots in. It's fucking good.
Really?
Yeah, she make a good
People
fucking
put carrots in their cheddar broccoli soup. It's fucking delish.
Damn. Yeah.
It's good. Like the stringy, like carrots.
Casseroles. I love casseroles.
Really? I never make casseroles. I hate cleaning the dish.
I don't make casseroles because my family's a picky motherfucker and they're like, "Oh, my food's touching. It's all touching in your mouth."
Listen, bitch, and I'm not referring to your family as bitch. It doesn't matter when it's Yule, Samhain, or Thanksgiving.
Right?
No, like, because I don't like my food touching either. But if it's Thanksgiving, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
love me some casseroles. I grew up on casseroles. I made a bomb-ass casserole when I was like 11 that to this day, I still don't know how I made it well. Cinnamon rolls are the best. Oh my god.
But
because cinnamon is great for Sauin.
Oh, absolutely.
And nutmeg, nutmeg, cloves, cinnamon, apples, pumpkin. These are like those are my favorite Sauin things. That said, frankincense and myrrh are always on my Samhain offerings. So always. Like you can't. For me, there is no better offering than frankincense for your ancestors or the dead.
On Samhain, I'm a big tobacco. I'm gonna be a I don't know what word to call witch. I know, I'm like, damn. But I don't know what to call witch other than you know, I'm not even going to use that word, but I emptied my Swisher Sweets tobacco into a jar. And it's sweet tobacco, and it smells, and it's really good, and that's what I like to burn. Just a little FYI, if you be buying them Swisher Sweets and you're also a witch and you don't want to throw out your tobacco, use it.
Yep. I have my husband smokes cigars. He saves me a cigar ash. He now smokes pipes, and I get into his tobacco because my man is so expensive to keep, y'all. Do you have a high maintenance man yourselves? My man is high maintenance. I don't know about yours.
You know what? He's not.
Mine is. Not. Like, everybody jokes about the woman being high. My man is high maintenance. Like
he's like, I have to have these cigars imported from Cuba.
Right. Like he goes and he gets the cigars he wants, which is fine. I understand. But like
he doesn't smoke a whole one at once.
No.
Well,
I mean, if he does, it's not like he does it like once a week or twice a week. You know what I mean? So if he smokes the whole thing, it's not that big of a deal. But I don't understand quitting smoking if you're going to spend the same amount of money on cigars and pipe tobacco. But B, if you're going to have pipe tobacco around, I'm going to get into it for my own personal uses because I won't spend that kind of money, but apparently you will.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and like he saw me one day.
And if you're cheap, you Swisher Sweets.
Yeah, but he is good for he is good to the ancestors because one time I was getting in and I was trying to be generous. I was trying to be nice to him, and he has a jar of just like a bunch of mixes of what's like the little bits left from different kinds of tobacco. So I was getting some of that because it smelled really good anyway. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm getting some tobacco for the ancestors." He was like, No. This one, use that one. And I was like, okay. And then I took a hunk off and he's like, that much?
He's like, that was fucking rude.
Yeah, he was. And I was like, my bad, I'll put it back. And he's like, no, you took it. It's fine.
You can't put it back. Yeah. That's rude. You're just rude over.
But it was for the ancestors.
You know, my husband left an offering out, a little thing of whiskey and a mushroom cap.
That's adorable.
When
Corey does, he does gnome offerings and he gets them the good whiskey because he doesn't want to be a bad host, and I appreciate that about him, even if he is just maybe making fun of me when he says it.
Be doing that, and I'm like, do you believe too?
Right?
Or are you just
I still
humoring
wonder,
me?
right?
You know what I mean? Like I feel like they do, but they don't want to admit it because.
Right? And you know what? Since the veil is thinning, I'm going to share with our listeners the story I told you earlier. So my husband, he decided he was going to try and go bow hunting this past weekend. And I half believe that he got a visit from the gods. This motherfucker. Or some psychopaths. So this motherfucker, he set up his camp. He's just chilling. It's evening time. He's smoking. He's going to go to bed soon. Another vehicle pulls in and blocks his vehicle in, and these dudes get out of their truck. They start setting up camp right by his camp. They sit down at his campfire And they use his campfire to cook their dinner. They do not ask. They just do. I'm like, that had to be like Odin or Loki or somebody fucking with you. Because my husband's predominantly Norse. He's got other stuff too, but he's predominantly Norse. We joke that he's a Viking. But like, the veil is thin. Mm-hmm. It is the time that fairies fuck around. Why wouldn't the gods have fun too?
Oh, I totally believe it. Believe it.
Well, and like, divination.
Oh, yeah.
Is huge because the veil is thin, right?
Oh, absolutely. You get a clearer view
into
what you're reading.
Now, is there divination with apple bobbing?
Yeah, I think I had read that.
I feel like you had last year.
Like, and they like cut open the seeds or they cut it open and there's like a number of seeds.
Like, I feel like they said something like they might see the letter of their love's name.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Very interesting apple lore, which makes me wonder, like, do we associate apples with magic because of our own fear of red things? Or because apples are so magical?
I like to think it's because there's a natural pentacle in the middle of...
I'm with that 100%. I've been eating an apple a day and I feel much better.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I can tell when I haven't had an apple a day. I eat at least 1 apple a day now. Sometimes 2 if I'm really hungry. Plus, like, some of the organic apples are smaller than the non-organic
They
ones.
are. They're smaller than the non-organic ones, which does suck. But at the same time, it's because they don't have...
Yep. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying sometimes I have to have 2 apples because I'm like, that was not satisfying enough.
Right.
An hour later, I'm eating another apple, but it's cool. And eating an apple makes me feel sexy.
Really? It's like strawberries?
Yeah, like, totally. I'm like, you gotta suck the juice off of it. Oh, I mean, it's very sensual.
It's not a banana.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I go, is that, like, is the sensuality of the apple why it's the fruit of temptation in the Garden of Eden?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because apples...
Because it should be a pomegranate. Like, it's supposed to be a pomegranate, but they changed it to an apple.
Somebody told me a peach. They said if they were going to be tempted with the fruit, it'd be a peach. I just realized,
in the lore, it was originally a pomegranate. And
as I say that out loud, I was like 15 when this adult man told me that, and now I'm like, peach is another term for asshole.
Yeah, or,
vagina.
Yeah, okay.
So he's like, if I wanted to be tempted with anything, it'd be a peach.
No,
now I'm like,
really
wait,
was your peaches want to shake your tree?
I'm
Steve
like,
Miller Band.
Was this motherfucker being inappropriate and it just went over my fucking head?
Probably. I just had an epiphany like that not too long ago, actually.
Where it's like, so-and-so was really inappropriate, but...
Yeah, I didn't realize it until this very moment in adulthood, yes. Yes, very much.
What
the
fuck?
Yeah.
Also, peach, lame.
Right.
Like, what a shitty temptation. Maybe a nectarine.
I don't like peaches. I don't like the flavor.
Do you like nectarines?
Mm-mm. Ashley got me to eat a plum, though. It was alright.
I like plums.
It was cool. I like a plum.
But I still like
I feel like that would be just as sensual to eat.
Oh, yeah, the redness.
Yeah.
And then
Well, and it's like the sucking of the juices. I'm not trying to make this an X-rated episode. I'm just saying, like, as I've started to eat more apples, I understand why they're so associated with sensuality and desire, and I do feel sexy eating an apple.
Peaches be like that, too.
Yeah, because you gotta, like, suck the juice, and, like, you got...
Speaking of fruits, my son, he kept going, apple, apple, apple. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, apple? Like, what apple? He found a whole ass apple under my couch.
That little magician.
I know. I'm like, where did this come from?
Instead of a wand, it was an apple.
It wasn't bruised. There was nothing wrong with it. He just picked it up and took a bite out of it and walked away. I'm like, where the fuck did this apple come from?
Dude, instead of having the diaper like Tommy Pickles, your son has the couch that he just gets shit out from under. God. Yeah, right. He's like, here's the remote. Here's an apple.
And he was pointing at it. I'm like, apple, what apple? What apple? What are you talking
That's
about?
so
And then he just
funny.
reached down and got it. And it's
He's
like,
so goddamn
I
cute.
was
They
like,
both are.
what
Oh
the
my
fuck?
god.
Where did that come from?
Oh my god, they're so cute. I could eat them. Speaking of eating children. The Celts give us the original children eating lore in their lore of the Tuatha De Danann, having to give tribute of children, food, and drink to the Fomorians. So for those who are not familiar with Celtic folklore, like Maddie and myself, we're just going to give you a quick little blip that the Tuatha De Danann are essentially the race of gods, but they're spoken of as regular people, but not regular people because they live in the other world, but they can also cross through to our world.
It's so confusing.
I know. And the Fomorians are like a magical race of people. But like the god Lu, his mother was a Fomorian and his father was of the Tuatha De Danann. So like it's not like
Sorry, I know I do that every time.
But it's like, so it's not like they're completely different race of people. So like I feel like the Fomorians are like what the fairies descended from. Like because
Maybe
they're
it
the
would
magical
be like
race.
A frost giant gods type situation with
Maybe like with the Norse. Yeah. I don't know. But that is where I believe all of the human sacrifice lore comes from. But, you know, and probably the witches eating kids thing, because you can't have the one and the cauldron and Samhain and the thinning of the veil and divination and not just put it all together and blame witches.
Right.
As one tends to do in Europe.
Right. So, how do you plan on celebrating Samhain this year? I'm very curious.
Yes.
Give us some ideas in the comments if you're watching us on YouTube.
And if you're trick-or-treating, snap a picture.
Oh my
Send
God,
it to
please
us on
do.
Twitter.
Please
Classiest witches. We want to see. Because, like, I may not be trick-or-treating, but I'm going to be dressing up for all the shit I'm doing.
And then put hashtag witches told me to.
Oh my God, yes! Do it!
That would be awesome.
Hashtag witches told me to.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Check us out on Instagram. We are Witches Talking Tarot. You're going to get some really
Yes.
cool pictures of us and just different things that we've been doing and working on. Like Amber said, if you see us on Twitter at Classiest Witches, give us a follow.
Yes. If you're on YouTube, did we already say subscribe?
Yes.
Please do. We're getting closer to 100, which is our end of year goal.
Yes,
So,
it is.
if you haven't done that yet, like, please.
Melissa, as always, you are fucking
exactly
amazing.
what I was thinking of. I was like, give us your support. Oh, Melissa.
Yeah, right. Melissa
Who already
our
does, and we
top
appreciate
tier
you
patron.
so much. Heart
You're
you.
amazing. Check us out on Patreon at Witches
I
Talking
keep going pushing
Tarot.
my glasses and they're not
And
on.
we will see you next time.
Thanks for coming to sit with us this spell.